Hello, Vibers, and welcome to the Vibe with Kai podcast. It's your boy Kai, and I'm excited to be sitting here with my friend because we've known each other for quite some time, but he's big time now, Mr. Author, artist, and dad. All of that stuff. William Mercado is here on the late night show with Kai Riskin and Westcott. I'm happy to have you here, my friend. I'm excited to sit and talk about your life and your work and all of that stuff. Before we get started, my friends, be sure to subscribe to the Vibe with Kai Patreon. It's only $5 a month, where you'll get bonus content of me and William behaving ourselves. I put that in quotes. In quotes. Let's talk about my guest today, my friends. William Mercado. I'm about to hype you up, man. William Mercado is an accomplished fine artist. He's fine, all right. Writer,
You're
actor. Yeah, he is amazing, is what he is. He loves to geek out over graphic novels and books and the science fiction and fantasy genres with his own works in progress, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I want to welcome William Mercado to the Vibe Guy podcast. What's up, man?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to see your face. We've been friends since when?
Over a decade.
It's been well over a decade, I feel like.
Whatever Suits was, that was like, I think like 10 or 11 years ago.
My gosh, yeah, because I was the Cat in the Hat and you were General Genghis Khan Schmidt.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we met in the hallway for auditions, not knowing we were auditioning for the same role. I was like, hey, you're a nice guy. I like you. I'm sorry, what you're playing? Okay, yes, great. Now it's on. I hate you. But no, that's when we met.
And that's exactly where we met. And the little would we know that you and I would go on to have some adventures. We would have some adventure. There's not too many people that I can look at and be like, we've seen some shit. Like we've seen some stuff. Yeah, we've experienced some things.
If one of us runs for office, we need to check with the other to make sure, like, we cool? You're not gonna
right. It's like when I run for I'm 35 now, so like I could run for president in 2024, and I'm gonna hit you up and be like, hey, listen, we're friends, right? I just want to make sure that we're friends, right? I need the things in the closet to stay there at least until the FBI starts, investigating me while I'm in office. That's the plan.
Understandable.
I'm super excited because a lot has happened since you and I have become friends, and we've traveled all over. You have a whole ass family that you have now. And so I want to talk about all that. I want to start first though with pandemic life, because I'm sure, as you're aware, the world caught on fire in 2020. Things happened. And it changed like a lot of people's lives. Like a lot of things kind of like shifted for good reasons, for bad reasons, and everything in between. What has pandemic life been like for you since 2020 up till today?
Well, I was acting with you at Kelsey Theater. I was going into work, but by the time COVID like had struck like full force, I was already working from home. So for like at least a year and a half, and Nicole had been my wife. For those that don't know,
my wife.
She was staying at home as well. She was on maternity leave. And so yeah, like when it like truly struck, and they were like, no, nobody go anywhere, stay home, don't do anything, whatever. We were already working from home and staying at the house anyway, so it was
working
okay
from home before it was cool.
Yeah. And I loved staying home, so this was not a problem for me at all. I mean, I love reading comic books and watching movies, and just to have the extra time to be like, oh, we can't go out, sorry, like
can't go out, sorry, there's a deadly plague outside, gonna stay home tonight. I'm gonna sit this one out.
But the big one, where it really knocked us on our ass was, or at least not us, but like anybody after us. Nicole and I Nicole had gone into the hospital the week of March 12th of 2020, and we were going to have our baby. That was the week, like 2 days after we got admitted, they shut everything down. Like you couldn't go out, they didn't want you to go to work, drive anywhere, whatever. And the hospitals were like on double lockdown. And so I was the last father or significant other that was let in with his wife or pregnant woman, um, when they were ready to deliver their baby. From after me, for at least like 2 months, they wouldn't let the mothers in with anybody, so they had to deliver on their
Wow.
own for however long it took, with nobody from family or friends or whatever. And and it was me and like two other fathers, and we were just walking around the hallways like aimlessly, like, what is happening? What is going on?
Oh my, I can't even, that's so weird. But like
Yeah,
I've heard stories like that, and I always, and like from that perspective, like because we don't really think about it, but like when obviously when a woman is having her child, they obviously want somebody there with them, whomever it may be. And the
yeah.
fact that like a person after that would have a child with the only people by their side are the like doctors delivering the baby and nothing else, like wow, you
It
really,
was weird.
you got in, you got
I
in.
mean, we all of our nurses and the doctors were totally cool.
Yeah.
Even with what was going on, but we got the full like Walking Dead experience. We went in, everything was fine, and then we walked out like a week later, and it was like, "What? Where is everybody? What's going?"
Yeah.
I mean, if we were in Massachusetts, there was like snow falling when we left. There was
Oh
nobody
my
on the
gosh.
roads. It was like, what is happening right
Yeah,
now?
it was a
Can
that
we
was a
stay in the
weird time
hotel?
period. That was a weird time period. I remember because the house that I live in now, I moved in here that same week. That's when I moved in here. And at the time I was living with my roommate Gia, who doesn't live here anymore, but at the time, like we were never roommates before, right? So we moved in the week of COVID, all the lockdowns, and we were like, I really hope I like you because we're stuck
Yep,
together for a while.
it's
Like
a crash
thank
course.
God. Exactly, right. Thank God, like she's like one of my best friends. But like we were like, man, this could have easily gone south.
Well, I
Like
mean, and that's not just for you, like as with
yeah.
a new relationship, like
Mm-hmm.
people that are in committed, like
Mm-hmm.
married relationships, they got a crash course. It was because it was like, I can't get away from this person.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have to find out if I really like you now.
Yeah. It's like
So
I gotta find
when
out
you
if this is
spend
real
20,
real fast.
yeah, when you spend that much time with them and you literally cannot get away, like
Yeah.
even to run to the corner store to get a pack of smokes
Right.
or an OJ or something, like you're like, oh wow, I hate you.
It's like I think I don't like you. I'm gonna go on a
I
limb and
mean,
say that I
what
don't
was
like
I?
you.
Nicole read an article where it was like, not only were people drinking more in the past 2 years, but like domestic violence
Yeah,
skyrocketed,
it
and it was
did.
like, what is going
Yes,
on right
I
now?
know. I know. It's insane. And which I guess the way that I think about it now, so your daughter was born the week of COVID when everything shut down.
Yep.
So like she never got to like experience like people
People.
outside of you two for how long? Like when did she actually get to be like, oh, there's other humans out
Yeah,
there?
like I would say not until maybe I we didn't even have like a first birthday party for her, and I mean we did, but it was only like
Mhm.
grandparents
Yeah,
whom she had already met.
right.
So I'm gonna say like at least a year and a half.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the first full year when we got back from the hospital, it was just the three of us, totally.
Wow.
And that was actually awesome for us. Like we were
Sure.
both
Yeah,
working
yeah.
from home,
Mhm.
nobody interfered. We had 24 hours a day with her.
Mm, mhm.
She's beautiful and wonderful because we had that time with her,
Right, right.
which we were lucky enough to have. Like, I mean, I could just imagine other parents or single
Mhm.
parents or working parents that never had that opportunity. And we
Right.
totally, I have to say that the pandemic totally we lucked out with that, like because
Sure.
it worked in our favor in that respect.
Absolutely,
She didn't
absolutely.
meet anybody for like a year and a half, and when she did, she was just like, what is going
What
on?
is what's
Like
happening right now?
there's other people in this world. Just give me Nana and Papa Nick and
Right, right.
Gigi.
I
Like
remember meeting her because I met her at the park. We were at the park, and how old was she at that point?
maybe like a year and a couple months.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow. Was I her first Black person? Please tell me
I
yes.
believe you were. You were her first.
Tell me I win a prize. Do I win a prize? I love the fact I always wanted to be somebody's first Black person in
Well,
everything.
I do remember her saying chocolate for the first time after that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe that was related. I'm not sure.
She's like, Daddy, chocolate. And I was like, that's right, kid,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know. That's
I
my
mean, you're
nickname.
not wrong.
It's my nickname in high school. That's awesome. So like, so what's it like? Because I remember our conversations like way back in the day, right? The thought of children was like, no,
Yeah,
not gonna happen. Like, not gonna be a thing. Like,
I thought
what?
about that before
Yeah.
coming on today,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I have to bring this up because the very few number of your followers that know me already
Mhm.
know a different me completely. So, like whatever it is from like real life experience,
Yeah.
or rumors that they heard or whatever, or just like the guy that I was, like
Right.
really, I'm a totally different person now.
Hmm.
So what they know from back then, like 10 years ago, literally,
Yeah.
to now, and they're like, what I'm sorry, he's married? Wait, and he has a daughter? And
Right.
he wrote a children's book and poems? This is not the same person we're
This is
talking
not
about.
no, not at all.
So yeah, it's like, and you the same way, like
Yes.
the stories that people must know about you,
Uh-huh.
and then they're like, wait, he has a podcast where he binged the Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
Like, like what is happening right now?
I know. I know. It's been so weird, but like that's just I guess how life is. We have these experiences and we're just like, this is who we
Right?
are
What is it?
now.
Life is what happens while you're making plans.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, I love that. I love
yeah.
it, and
So
it's true because like we would have conversations about life and all these things, and I do remember distinctly having a conversation about not having children, like just kind
yeah,
of like living our bachelor lives and just like living our best lives, and like that was the plan.
absolutely. I even told my mom that.
Yeah.
I had that disastrous conversation with my mother where I was like, "Mom, I'm just letting you know now, like, uh, you're not having grandchildren.
Right.
I mean, I may never even get married."
Right.
And then it was like, I think it was like 2 years later, and it's like, "Boop, hey Nicole, what's going on?"
Yes.
Oh, I know. And then what? Another 2 years later, it's like,
Right.
so yeah. I mean, you could totally have your own mindset and plan for what
Mhm.
you want to happen in life, and then something just comes
It
at you
just
from the
comes
other
out.
end, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, I got to deal with this now.
Yeah, right. And let me tell you, one of my favorite moments ever with you was when you had asked
Careful,
me to.
careful
No,
what
I
you
know,
say.
no, no. That's for the extra footage. That's for the extra
Okay,
footage.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what they pay for.
One of my favorite moments is when you and Nicole had asked me to marry the both of you,
Yeah.
and I will never forget that moment because if and correct me if I'm wrong, but we were over. I forgot whose house we were over, but it might have been. It wasn't yours. I don't know. It wasn't yours. We were over somebody's house. I don't remember why, but I remember. Oh, it might have been yours. I don't remember. I'm old. I'm old, but I remember you coming out as I'm leaving in the parking lot. Do you remember this? Do you
No,
remember you coming
I'm
outside?
older. I'm older, so I can claim that respect. Like,
You had asked. I was walking out to my car, and I guess people weren't expecting me to like leave at that point in the night. I don't know why you didn't just ask me while I was in the house, but you came out afterwards while I was walking to my car and asked me if I could marry you and Nicole, and I was like,
what?
really. And then it became like official, and then like I got to be the officiant for your wedding.
It was awesome. You're
Like
in my wedding photographs.
I am literally right there,
Yeah, like right in the middle.
like right in and the best part of that wedding was watching you when Nicole like sort of like made her like presence known as the queen she is, and she turned that corner in the outs we were outside, turned the corner, and you see her for the first time, and I looked at you, and you were just like,
Yeah, yeah. And I remember the feeling. I remember.
yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about
hmm,
because I was standing there and I was like, I, the word is verklempt. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm not Jewish, so I'm probably not saying it right. But I was like,
yeah,
and my best man Jason was behind me,
yeah,
and I felt him lean in to my ear, and he was like, don't be a bitch. And I busted out, and I was like, okay, I'm cool.
Oh my God. I remember because I was right there, obviously. I was right there and I got to witness the entire thing. And it was such a beautiful moment. And I'll tell you, we never talked about this, but I'll tell you the craziness of that day. Because I was supposed to be down there the night before for the rehearsal,
Yes.
right? And there was, I forgot exactly what happened, but there was some sort of travel issue because I was coming at the time I was working in Greenville, South Carolina, and there was some sort of travel issue that I couldn't get there that night. So I ended up getting there that day,
Yeah.
and like it ended up like working out. But I also remember I think I ended up becoming like the DJ that night, or no, not the DJ, the
MC.
MC. I think I became the MC that night.
We just threw a mic in your hand. You're like, you'll be fine. Just do what you do. You'll be all right.
That was a fun night, dude. I remember sitting around the campfire outside, just like
Yeah.
chilling. Yeah.
Like people that don't even drink got
Mhm.
wrecked that night. And they're like, what's going on?
I was
Stories were
wasted.
told, like
Yes.
jokes were made. It
Uh-huh.
was good, it was bad, it was good.
That was a night that at some point we'll talk about when we're not being listened to by hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So what, now that you're a dad, now that you've become a dad, like what have you learned about yourself by becoming a dad? Like what is something that you learned? Or the biggest lesson
Hmm.
maybe? You're like, do we have enough time? Because I have a list.
Well, I mean, I really am. I really am still just the same old Bill.
Hmm.
The thing is, I know how to I know how to filter it and temper it when my daughter's in the room.
Mm,
Um, and I think what she has taught me is how to finer hone my humor
mm.
so that it's not so crass, so that it's more insightful.
Yeah.
And I'm not just that dick like spewing some funny lines, like because you're like I didn't have a daughter 5 years ago
Right.
when I said this joke, and it was like,
Mhm.
ooh, I don't like that
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah, you're like, "No, that's not okay. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say that no
so
more."
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
in that respect, yeah, I'm more aware of what I say when I'm around her.
Mm, yeah.
Um, Aside from that, I think I think I'm more aware in general of all of my thoughts.
Mhm.
Um, Not just like, oh, don't say these don't
Right.
say these 7 words around her or
Right.
something. But also like if there's something that I want my daughter, like if I were to be gone tomorrow completely, like
Yeah.
just drop off the face of the earth, dead, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'd want my daughter to remember that one, I was happy,
Mm.
two, I was smart, which is easy for a 2-year-old. But
I'm the smartest man in the world.
yeah. And three, that I loved my wife. I loved
Yeah.
her mother. So
Mhm.
and I try to like present that when I'm around her all the time. Like I tell her that I love her. And for somebody that never thought they were getting married, never thought they were going to have kids, like to and never like really like looked. I mean, I did. I looked inwardly. I
Mhm.
like to grow upon myself and become a
Right.
better person. But like to have to do it to the extent where now I'm the example, and
Oh my gosh.
I want to show that to you so that when I'm not around, you can do it. You can emulate that. You can feel those things and be who you are. Like, I mean, it is a responsibility. Anybody could be a dad,
Yeah.
right? Or anybody. Wait, I think I got it wrong.
No,
Any guy could be a father, but it takes a genuine man to be a dad, right? Like to
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
build that the good qualities of a person in somebody, which like I said 10 years ago people were looking at me and be like, no, there's no way, don't worry. Just
Right, right.
stay away from him.
That's
um
wow. Like when
yeah.
like that's incredibly insightful. And I like that's you do realize that my audience is 90, I'm not making this up, 92% female. And every single last one of them, I know for a fact are listening to this right now, being like, I want a bill. Can I get a bill, please? Can I please order one of those, please? Because like
Go to my website.
because that's
Like on my
incredibly
OnlyFans.
insightful. Yeah,
It's
right. Like that's so insane. Like to your like point, like that kind of ideology is not what you and I would talk about like back in the day. Like that's just
no.
not what it was like. But we were also younger and like, you know, I don't want to say immature because we weren't immature. Oh, we had our moments, but like we were grown ass adults, but we were just like at different points in our lives back
Yeah.
then. And like I'm still proud and I don't regret anything from the past. I'm pretty sure you're the same way. Because it like made us who we are today. And I think in a weird way, the way that you were mainly back in the day kind of um legit created that perspective that you have now. Like it helped kind of like quantify a lot of things.
I always come back to this one story. I was dating a woman back in the day when we were first together on stage and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I know every person, not just every guy, every person has that one relationship where they're like, "Oh yeah, that person was crazy as hell. Like,
Mm-hmm.
forget
Right.
it." No, but
Yes.
this one, batshit,
I
like
I do I do
totally.
remember this,
And
by
you
the
know
way.
exactly what
I
I'm
do.
talking about. So okay, so there's background there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I always come back to her because
Mm-hmm.
um I would never change being with her at all. As
Mm-hmm.
crazy, as psychotic as it was, I
Mm-hmm.
would never change any of it because had I not gone through that, I would not be who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of those, butterfly effect things. If I
Mm-hmm.
did go back and change it, I probably wouldn't be married. I wouldn't have a
Yeah.
daughter. I wouldn't be
Right.
talking to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never gone to Massachusetts. I might be dead. I might be in
Mm-hmm.
Spain. I might be an
Right.
astronaut. Who knows? But I
Mm-hmm.
would not trade that lunacy of what was it, 20 something,
It was a
2010 or
it
whatever.
was a long time
Uh,
ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because if I did, I wouldn't be this person right now. And
Mm-hmm.
and I am today much different than I was when we first met 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
like night and day to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
But like to your point, it's still you. Like I'm not
oh
like,
yeah,
who is this man, you imposter? Like like it's still you. Um,
I'm a little bit
but
chubbier,
oh yeah,
a little bit
it's
squishier.
sexy.
I got my dad bod going
No,
on.
but
I'm a
no,
dad.
but
That's what I
dad
do.
bods are in. Like that's what it is. Dad bod like that's the thing.
People say that, but it's people
It's
with
true.
dad bods that say it. Sort of like when you're 40 and you're like, oh well, 40 is the new 30. Well, no, you're saying that because you're 40.
No, dad bods are because I know plenty of people, both men and women, that do not like when a guy is just like chiseled. Like that's just like not attractive to them.
I mean, come on. I
I
want to
mean,
be I want to be like shredded, like
do
oh,
you? I don't.
oh.
I
I
don't.
do, I do want to be shredded. Not
Because
like to
like
the
the
point
work
where
that
it's
goes
like you
into it,
can
what's the
see
point?
veins throbbing in my nipples and like, but like I at least want to be able to take my shirt off and not be like, oh, stop. Oh,
That's fair. Okay,
yeah.
I understand that, but like you don't need to be like sexy ass Chris Hemsworth, like
Okay,
like
I'll give you that.
right,
Like,
right,
yes.
like that's fine. So that's awesome. So you're a dad. You've grown a lot, and but one thing that you've always been, and this hasn't changed at all, is you've always been an artist. You've always been like an author. You've always written and acted and drawn, created, like all of these things. Um, at least since I've known you, were you always like that, like as a kid, or was that something that you discovered later in life?
Yeah. So my parents got divorced, I think when I was like 5 or 6.
Hmm.
Um, and I lived with my mom, and we lived on like a random little street in North Arlington, New Jersey. There wasn't a lot of
Hmm.
kids. There's maybe like two kids I used to play with all the time
Right.
on our road, but like other than that, there was nothing going on. Like I'm
Hmm.
living right outside the city. There was, I don't know. So most of my time was, as it is now, in my house,
Yeah.
painting, reading, or drawing or whatever.
Hmm.
When I was a kid, I spent a lot of time by myself, listening to music, um, drawing my own things, my own characters, making recordings of yourself. Like your
Hmm.
parents, I know this is totally going to age me, but your parents would get a camcorder.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, it was like the big thing thing back then. And you would be able to play with it, and you and your like
Yeah.
my cousins and I would make videos, and we'd be like newscasters or
Yeah.
something, and I mean stupid stuff, but it all came out of your own mind, because like
Yeah.
other than that, what did you have to do? Watch TV.
Mhm.
So it was when I stayed home, I would either draw or do these videos or sing or make art projects.
Mhm.
And I was doing that before I even got into it, like officially with school,
Yeah.
studies in
Yeah.
high school and then in college. I actually went into college with an anthropology, major, and
Did
I
I
did that
know
for a
that?
year. Yeah,
Did I?
even my what not well, with the guidance counselors,
Uh-huh.
they're like, are you sure this is what you and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to study. I want to be an archaeologist.
I
And my
want
first
I
whole
want to
year
star
there,
in Jurassic World with Chris
yeah,
Pratt.
I want to be the next Indiana Jones. What the hell? Like, what don't you get about this? But then, like, after the first year of college where I was taking all those classes, I was like, this is so boring.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I do not want to do this. And I was studying at Rutgers in Camden at the time.
Hmm.
And when I transferred to Rutgers, New Brunswick, and like started taking classes at Mason Gross,
Hmm.
like, just the dynamic of the people, the
Hmm.
difference from like cultural anthropology classes and
Yes. Hmm.
and then artists, dancers, singers,
Yeah.
painters and sculptors. You're like, what the hell was I thinking? So yeah, so I actually went through a full study course in college with that, to like make my lifelong passion of
Mhm.
drawing and whatever from age 6 on
Right.
a reality. um
Do
but
you
yeah,
feel is that the best way that you express yourself, like through art? Is that like how you would say that you express yourself the most?
absolutely. Up until maybe like, I'd say before, up until up until the crazy relationship that I had,
Yeah.
I would say like I never like obviously everybody has emotions, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because I was young or I was a guy or how I was brought up or whatever, but like I never expressed myself to the person that I was in a relationship with, at
Mhm.
least to the full extent that you should.
Mhm.
um and so I feel like the way that I would express myself before then would either be through my paintings
Mhm.
or through acting. And I didn't even jump it back into that. I was doing that in high school, but I
Right.
didn't jump back into that until I met you. And that was like 10 or 12 years after high school too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, but those two places, and both of them, from in the arts, are where I would express myself.
Right, right. It's amazing like how even like to this day, like you find this hobby, right? Then this hobby ends up turning into like this passion, and this passion ends up guiding you in such a way that like even today you've written multiple things that are like published and have created things that people can like buy, and like this is like your form of expression is now for monetary gain in a way. I mean, that's not why you do it, but like that's like
Right.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. But it's nice to know that like something that you're passionate about is something that you can offer to other people. For example, like you have two books that you're like promoting right now that I think is amazing. You have Where's Monkey, which is a children's book, right? Ooh, look at
Yes.
that. Look at that. It's as if it was
Ooh.
queued up and ready to go.
Yes, yes. Ask me about the other one.
And the other one you have is called So Long Ago, So New. There we go. Look at
I come
that.
prepared.
I'm you should be happy with me. You know what's funny? Side note, like sometimes I'll like do an interview like this and I'll like mention like some things like that, and they're like, "Oh, you did your research." I'm like, "Yes, that's the point." Like, what do you
You
think I
know
was gonna
that's why we're
come?
talking,
Right?
right?
It's like I'm gonna come on here. So, who are you? What do you do? What is your vibe? I don't understand. But so you've written these two things, and like these are like hold those two things up again.
Well, here's the Where's
Right.
Monkey book.
That's Where's
Um,
Monkey. And like these aren't just like, hey, I printed some things out off my printer. Like these are like legitimate like things that people can get. I want to start with Where's Monkey,
Mhm.
children's book. What could have possibly inspired you to write that?
Yeah, so Where's Monkey is about my cat named Monkey,
Uh-huh.
who, okay, so I gotta rewind just like a smidge. We were living in Massachusetts
Uh-huh.
um, for 5 years. We just moved back for a relocation for Nicole's job,
Mm-hmm.
which is great because moving to Massachusetts was the only time either one of us had lived outside of New Jersey. So to
Mm,
come back was awesome.
yeah.
Massachusetts was great, don't get me wrong, but to come back to Jersey, our home state, was
Yeah.
amazing. Anyway, so we had just gotten back. It was like around this time, a little later, but around this time last year. And the first week that we moved into our new house in Milford, New Jersey, Hurricane Ida hit
Mm.
up on a mountain, and it takes like four um, telephone poles just to get like power and cable up to our house.
Oh wow.
That's how far we are from the road.
Oh my God.
Our driveway is literally, and I know how to use that word, literally a quarter of a mile long.
It's
So
not
like,
figuratively a quarter mile long.
no,
It
no,
is
no. I know,
literally.
I know English and the English language, how it works. So yeah, our our driveway is literally a quarter of a mile long. So it takes like four telephone poles
Holy
to get
cow.
like power and internet and cable and stuff up to our house. And so that first week that we moved in, Hurricane Ida hit, a tree split in half, took out our wires.
Oh my
So we had no
goodness.
power for about, I think it was like 10 days.
10 days.
After which, like, I think like after five, Nicole and my daughter went to go with her parents, just so,
Mm-hmm.
so they had hot
Right.
water and power and stuff. And I stayed around with the animals. But the very next day, our cat Monkey got out of the house, and like
Oh,
we didn't see him leave. Like we don't know what door he went out. Nobody. He just, like, one day for dinner, he just didn't come out, and it was like, what is going on?
right.
And then he was gone for 22 days. During those 22 days, I was a wreck.
I'm
I'm
sure.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. Like, you know, people, like 90% of the people have pets,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think. And when you talk about, and like when other people talk about their kids, and then the people that have only pets are like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, I know, my cat
Right.
does this, or my,
Right. Right.
those, the people with kids look at the people with pets and like, shut up,
Yeah.
you idiot. But I I love my animals
You
just as
do.
much as my
Mm-hmm.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
I and it What happened with Monkey is proof of that. I almost lost my mind like three times.
Wow.
Um, my I lost 15 pounds. Don't
Oh my
worry, I gained it
gosh.
back. Nothing changed. But over 3 weeks, I lost 15 pounds.
Oh my
I wasn't
gosh.
eating. I was hardly sleeping. I was posting on Facebook and all different types of social media to different websites for the areas, the towns
Mm-hmm.
around us. I was out in our landscape. We now live on a mountain in Milford. We own 22 acres of land.
Mm-hmm.
I was all over the mountain. I met all of our neighbors left and right down the roads. I mean, under extreme duress. Half
Mm-hmm.
of them saw me crying when I introduced
Oh,
myself. Like, I was a mess. I hired dog trackers. I hired remote spiritual and Reiki healers that would
oh my gosh.
that claimed to like be able to communicate with my animal
Yeah.
to confirm that he was still alive and it wasn't a lost cause. Like, I I lost my mind. I was like, and I remember having the conversation with Nicole where she was like, I don't know what to do for you. I don't know how to help you.
Right. Right.
And I was like, you know what? I don't either. I'm sorry I'm like this. If it was that, he had died, or if I found him and he was dead,
Mm-hmm.
that would be one thing. I'd have
Right.
closure.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't know where he is. I don't know if he needs me. I don't know if he's hurt or scared
Right.
or what. And that is what drove me the most. Like, I mean, both to look for him and just
Yeah.
in general, not to stop worrying about him. And mind you, here's the kicker: we did find him. So you know the end of the story, and you're not like, what happened? I did find him 22 days later. But the miraculous part of the story is my cat Monkey is blind in one eye. He
Mm-hmm.
has no claws, no teeth, and no meow. And he was out in the wilderness with bears, fox, and coyote, probably with, playing with chipmunks and squirrels and stuff too, but
Right.
those don't count. And he still survived. When I found him, he had a broken leg because something had
Oh,
attacked his back leg. He was half his weight and he couldn't move, or like he was totally dehydrated. So it, it was truly a miracle that we found him. That's why if you go onto Facebook and look for him, we call him Monkey the Miracle Kitty.
do you know
But
how hard this like hits me right now? Not only because I know how much monkey means to you, but like I have two kittens now. I
I
have
see,
two
so you
kittens.
have the
Mhm.
background blurred,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
can see like a
Uh-huh.
blur jumping up and down
Uh-huh.
behind you.
Yep. I have two kittens, Hamilton and Burr. Yes, that's their names. Uh-huh. And they're my two boys. They're 8 months old and they're both getting the snippy snips very soon. And yeah, like and listening to you tell that story, all I'm sitting here and I'm like in my head, I'm like, I swear to God, like Hamilton won't go anywhere because he's just like he when I tell you he is a manic, like panicky cat, like he's not gonna go anywhere. I don't have to worry about, but Burr would jump out of this door in a heartbeat, and I'm
Effing Burr.
every time. And so, like as you're telling that story, I'm thinking of I'm like Burr. I swear to God, you know I hate you, but I love you to death, and I will do anything for you. And if you go out that door and I have to search for you for 22 days, I swear to God, I'm gonna love the shit out of you, but I'm gonna hate you.
And
I'm
people
gonna
were
hate you
like
for it.
everybody that I talked to, they were like, well, people's cats have gone missing for like 4 or 6 months. I'm like, if this cat is gone for 6 months, I'm gonna die. I am going to die. The fact that it lasted 3 weeks was like enough for me. That's all my body could handle. Thank God I found him.
Oh my
Because if it
gosh.
lasted like months, forget it. Forget
Yeah.
it. I'd be dead.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad you found him. Like how far away from the house was he?
So, like I said, we live on a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a quarter mile from the road, and then if you go a little further up our mountain, at the very top, there's a cell phone tower,
Mm-hmm.
and it's surrounded by a chain link fence.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up there to lay a safety trap and some food, and even then, like I said, I lost 15 pounds. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, like I didn't have the energy to hike up there. So
Yeah.
when I got to the top, I was winded.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to put my stuff down and walk the perimeter, see where the best place is to put this trap. And as I was walking around the gated area, I saw this like gray tuft on the back, in the back of the building. He was just laying on a cement slab where like the air conditioner unit was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. I
Oh
was
my
elated.
God.
He was really like, what is it, like maybe another quarter mile up the mountain, so close to the house. And I was going like, I mean, when I put posters up, I was going to
Uh-huh.
Frenchtown
Oh
and Alpha, and
my.
these are like driving like 10,
Right.
15 minutes away. So this little asshole was up at the top of the
He's
hill.
like, hey, so I'm up
I
here. You need
mean,
me? He's like, you need me? I'm up
granted,
here.
right. It was like 3 weeks, so he probably wasn't there the whole time.
Right,
But
right, right.
to find him there, one, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, thank God. Second
Mm-hmm.
time, I was like,
Well, I'm glad he's okay because I mean like you're right to survive like all of that, like the food situation, the attacks, the other, all of that stuff, and to survive and to like that's a badass cat
yeah,
with
yeah.
one eye too and no
I'm
meow.
telling you, Miracle Kitty.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
So,
So wait, how did you turn this into a children's book?
so, like I said, I used to post this like all the time
Yeah.
on Facebook and like all the town pages,
Hmm.
you know, for Milford, Frenchtown, Alpha, like all the surrounding areas where we lived, and and then we had posters up everywhere. I
Yeah.
I spent so much money at Staples, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah,
But the people that, and I used to get everybody that like, I would go to stores and people would know who I was.
yeah.
They were like, oh, you're Monkey's dad. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I am. Oh, is he all right? No, I haven't found him yet. And most of the time, it was adults that would say this, but
Hmm.
their kids would be like, I want to know where Monkey is. Monkey's still
Oh,
missing. Monkey, like they would be like, let us know when you find him because my kid has been rooting for you.
yeah,
90% of the time when somebody knew me and asked about it, it was because their kid was involved and they were like,
yeah.
we want to know where Monkey is.
Oh,
So when I finally found him, um, I posted the entire story on Facebook, on
mm-hmm.
Monkey's Facebook page.
Right, right,
I listed one big thing where I was like, I found him, here's the deal, here's what happened. And then like once a week after that, I would post who I thanked for what their contribution to the cause
right,
was. And every time I posted something, which was like, it was like a chapter of a book,
right.
somebody, at least one person would comment and be like, you should really write this in a story, write this down.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah, sure, I'll do that, whatever. And so when it finally came down to it and I had the extra time, I was like, I think I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it, not for the money,
yeah.
but to pay back the community that was
Oh,
so
wow.
like concerned about it and that
Yeah,
followed step by step what was happening with me. And that was mostly the kids, like, because
oh,
all the parents, when they asked me, they were like, my kid wants to know, did you
yeah,
find Monkey? Where's So I was like, this is the best thing. I can use my artistic skills and make a children's book about what happened to Monkey. And then just what I did after it was finally complete, I
mm-hmm.
was going around and doing book readings around our area to schools and libraries and just public venues
Yeah.
where kids could come up and I could read the story to them and then show them actual pictures
Wow.
of the real cat. And yeah, it's been wild.
That's fascinating. How did I not know this? I'm friends with you on Facebook. How did I not? I don't I mean, I don't go on Facebook a lot, but like, how did I not know any of this? Why is this my first time hearing this?
I don't know.
Jesus, oh man, I thought it was just like, hey, I have a cat. It's named
I have a
Monkey.
cat.
Check out my cat.
Yeah.
And then
So
and
here's
then
one of the
oh,
drawings from the book.
oh my god, and you drew this
Yeah, I did.
because you're a badass.
So what I did, I would do a lot of the drawings just on, pencil and paper,
Yeah,
and then scan them into my computer, and then redraw them on the computer. And what I like about, I'm self-promoting. What I
you're
like about
supposed to. That's the
these
whole point.
is that I use like actual textures
Yeah.
in the pictures. So like Monkey's fur in the picture is real cat fur. His clothes are real cotton and they have real patterns and stuff. So his ship is made out of wood. Like it's pretty cool. So I get a kick out of that.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So like you were that kid in school that just like went above and beyond on the assignment, even though we didn't need to.
Yeah, my Excel
Yeah.
sheets look like rainbows. They're beautiful and
The teacher's like, you only need to do a book report that was 1 page long. I see that you've handed in a 10 page white paper.
why are there
And
illustrations? What is
yeah,
happening
right.
there?
Why is there pop-ups? Like, I don't know what this was a math test. How did you get pop-ups on this math test? And so, okay, so you did that.
One
Like,
plus one is two.
yeah, it's like, okay, I didn't need all this, Bill. So you did Where's Monkey, and now you have a book of poetry called
Yeah.
So Long Ago, So New. Are these poems that you've written specifically for this, or were like compiled over time, or are they like how did this come to be?
So it helps to have a sugar mama. I'm sorry, a wife that loves you enough to give you the opportunity to stay at home and work on what you truly love.
Yeah.
No, but really,
She's
um,
laughing at this right now. She's gonna listen to this and be like, that motherfucker.
everybody's laughing. They're like, I knew it had to be something. It wasn't him. No, but what part of it really was her. It
Mhm,
really is all Nicole,
mhm,
the somebody that gives you the opportunity, that believes in you,
mhm,
and gives you the time and freedom to do what you love to do. Because
mhm,
let's face it, I'm in the arts. I like to
mhm.
write, I like to draw, I like to paint. It's not paying the bills. At least for me, it
What?
wasn't. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
were you gonna tell me this? This
I
is
mean, I could
malarkey.
sing Blue Moon till I'm literally blue in the face on stage in front of thousands. Yeah, I'm not paying my electric bill on that. I'm at a dinner theater in downtown Milford, scraping up the scraps of 80-year-old Milford, Mr. Man's
Oh
dinner
man, we just lost
just to eat.
Our Milford audience. They were listening to this. They're like, "What the hell?"
Oh, come on!
Ah.
I thought you liked doing that. But no, I mean, I used to work at Princeton University.
Mhm.
I used to work at these pharmaceutical companies in Massachusetts. So, and I saved money along with my wife, who gives me the freedom to be like, you know what, you don't have to work right now. We
Mhm.
have enough money. I'm still pulling in cash, being the breadwinner. Do what you
Yeah.
want to do.
Mhm.
So I had the opportunity to write the Monkey Book, and then after that was done, I was like, I like this writing thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like sitting at home on my ass doing absolutely nothing but
That's a
working on the
lot of
computer
something
for hours
though.
at a
That's a lot
day.
of something. Writing a book is not easy.
So I saw this opportunity through Facebook of all things,
Uh-huh.
and it was a writing challenge. And it was,
Mm.
if you could submit 21 poems in 21 days, then we will publish your works. So I was like, well, I have a loophole for this. And that was, I used to write a ton of poems
Yeah.
in college. Now, mind you, I graduated in 2006. So
Mhm.
that was a
Mhm.
while ago.
Oh, you old man, you. I'll see you
But
in Milford.
I'm getting the early bird special. We're eating at 2 p.m. today. um, so yeah, so I was like, I know I have a bunch of poems like,
Mhm.
in the chamber. Let me go look at those and see
Yeah.
if I can see what I could do with those.
Mhm.
And so I figured this was a great opportunity for me to like publish something in addition to what I'm already trying to get
Right,
published.
right.
So I found all my old poems, and they, when I read them, they sounded like a college student wrote them. So I was like, nice.
Roses are red, violets blow. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
yo. Ooh, ooh,
exactly. So I was like,
ooh.
this is crap. This is gonna get me nowhere. But what I did was I went through all of them and then re-edited them
Mm,
and rewrote them basically,
mhm.
which is why the book is called So Long Ago, College, So New,
Mm.
Now.
You
I
put
took
some
those old,
thought into this, didn't you?
aha,
I'm one of you. You
taste the
thought
soup,
this through.
taste the soup. Um, so, so, uh, so that's why the book is named So Long Ago, So New, and
Yeah.
I'm actually going to say it's maybe like half the poems that I had from back in the day.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I re-edited them, re-edited them. Oh my god, I
Edited.
can't say it.
That's a hard. Have you ever tried to say you edited it?
Edited it.
I edited it. The things I think about at 3 o'clock in the morning when my
I
Adderall kicks
rewrote
in.
them. Like Porky Pig. I can't say this word. I can't say this word. I'll say this word.
That's my Porky Pig impression.
See, who knew where this conversation was going?
I ain't never tried no Porky Pig impression in my life, and
See,
I am today
you
years
should put
old.
that in the tagline when you post this. Be like, we talk about everything from sex to Porky the Pig. Like, what? People are like, what?
And
I
they are
need to
not
watch
mutually
that.
exclusive.
So yeah, that's where the book of
Oh
poetry
man.
came from. Um, I actually tried to be cultured back in the day. I wasn't
Yeah.
always the scathing prick that I was that everybody knows me from a decade ago. But yeah, I always tried to be cultured, and here it is. Now I'm published with both a children's book and a poetry book,
That's a
and
flex. That's a
yeah,
flex.
like what, right?
Yeah.
I'm even impressed.
That's amazing. Like I'm legit am so proud like to be like your friend and to see your like growth like as an author, as an artist, as a human being. Like who'da thunk? Me and you.
Who'd have
Me
thunk,
with a podcast and millions of followers, and
right?
you like with like all this amazing published material and like a beautiful family. Like this time in 2009, if we were like, if I had a podcast, this I don't what the hell would we even talk about? We're like, I saw a pair of boobies and had steak last night. Like
Did you read the last Superman? That was great. I mean, It's great.
Oh, I mean, you say that. Meanwhile, as I'm like sitting here, I'm like, I
I
watched
still read
She-Hulk.
Superman.
I watched
I
She-Hulk
still
when it
read
came out.
Superman.
Like legit. I'm in the comic books and I watch wrestling. Like I'm a diehard WWE fan. So it's like, some things don't change.
I get it. I'm telling you. It's when I wrote the children's book and for the like the backsplash where you have to write like about yourself,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, about the author.
Hmm.
Like I wrote like I'm a total geek.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
still read comic books. I still
Yeah.
love sci-fi,
Hmm.
and the other things that I'm working on past this are a comic book of my own. So I'm taking what I've already done and trying to expand upon it with stuff that I still love, that I've grown up with.
That's
And
amazing.
honestly, this feels the best. Like
I'm
instead of
so
doing my
happy.
daily grind, just trying to do whatever job. I don't have a career, to be honest. I don't have.
Yes, you do.
My wife has a career.
You have a career. You're an author. You're a writer. You're an
I can say
artist.
that
That's a
now.
career.
Okay, okay. Previously, I did not have a career. I was working jobs in different
Hmm.
arenas, hotels,
Yeah,
Princeton.
yeah,
So, and it really was. It was just to pay the
yeah,
bill. Now it's like I found something that, oh, hey, I can
yeah.
actually do this and make money.
Yeah,
This is fantastic.
yeah.
So I couldn't be happier.
That's amazing.
I
Like
know.
if I, like I my goal, I love cuddling. I'm trying to get like become like a professional cuddler. That's what I
But
want.
that exists. That's a thing.
Is it really?
I I remember seeing something online where it was like you can pay me like $20 an hour and all we have to do is spoon for like an hour and we don't have to talk, nothing sexual.
You think
We
that's
can
all
watch
I'm
a movie.
charging is $20? I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna go at least 25,
You
at
know,
least. I'm
know your worth.
classy. I'm a classy broad.
I'm a good classy broad.
Oh my God. I'm legit. I'm so excited for you. I need to come visit your house. It's not like we live far from each other. Like most of the
Yeah.
time, like people I have on my podcast, they're people that like live in like Australia or they live in like some like on Mars. And I'm like, oh well, yeah, I can't make it there. Let's zoom it. But we live near each other, like less than an hour. So like I need to make that happen.
Yes.
I need to come visit.
Well, we're probably gonna have a party soon too.
Ooh. Are
I
you
can't
inviting
call
all
it
of
a
my followers?
everybody come in.
Everybody come.
Nicole will be like, what the hell is going on right
You'll
now?
be like, hey, listen, I have 800,000 people coming on Saturday. Do you think we
Yeah,
need to pick up a fruit tray,
we
maybe?
might need to get some more alcohol. Actually, we're probably good on that. Just get more chips.
I'll bring the plates. How's that? And the paper towels.
uh,
Oh my
but
God.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
we're
invite
probably
me.
gonna have something
Mhm.
soon. Just like because
Yeah.
you know, like I said, we moved in last year, and then this
Yeah.
monkey thing happened,
Hmm.
and then from there, nothing as bad as that, but
Right, right.
things have happened since then, so we
Hmm.
haven't really been able to focus on, hey, we're back in Jersey, let's
Right, right,
party.
right.
We're probably gonna do that fairly soon. So, woo, let's party.
Nice. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm definitely just shoot me a message. Let me know, and I'll invite myself and 1 million of my friends, and we'll all
All
be
that
there.
that you said 90% of your followers are girls that are
92.
probably like looking for a bill.
Hmm.
Come to the party. You can meet the bill.
The bill. Why get a bill when you can meet
Right?
the
Why get a
bill?
photocopy? Get
Exactly.
the real thing.
Get the don't get the colored fruit circles. Get the Fruit Loops itself.
Colored fruits.
Yes, that's a real cereal. It's like I think it's called Color Rose, and they're
Coloros.
yes, they're
That's racist.
like yeah, it is like what do you call me?
I
Nothing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
don't like that toucan.
Why is that 2K looking at me? I don't know why I turned into Brian Fellows from Saturday Night Live. Tell that bird to stop looking at me. I can't. Oh my God. I'm so happy that we got to sit and chat today. My friends, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I want to get that book, and I want to feel that fur and I want to feel that all that stuff. Yeah, the fur in the book, not that's for the
Oh, right.
party.
Yes,
That's for the
of
party.
course.
But you feel like, hey, I want to learn more about this man. I want to get his stuff, all of that stuff, all that. Just I put all of his links in the description of this podcast, so you can go check that out, go get it, and then like shoot him a message, say hi, be like, hey, listen, I heard you on the podcast, and I love your vibe. I'm a fan of your vibe.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
hearing stories like like I said, I used to read story like I used to do book readings around town and
Yeah.
stuff. And everybody had a story. They'd be like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh yeah, my cat, Dinkus," or "My dog Felix would be like," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah." Everybody had a story, and I
Yeah.
loved every one of them. It doesn't matter if you talk to me
Mhm.
about your pets, your the clothes that you're wearing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, reach out. I do not mind. I love it.
Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely. Well, be careful what you wish for because the vibers will come through. You'll get inundated with just messages, and you'll be like, ah. Um, well, anyway, my friend, thank you so much for sitting with me. Like I said, all the links are in the description of this podcast. And if you are interested in seeing a little bit more, like 5 minutes of extra conversation between Bill and I can't guarantee it's going to be
G-rated.
yeah, I mean, this is we're never I don't think you and I have ever been G-rated except for Sue School. Like we're on stage performing the stuff that was written out for us. But outside of that, but anyway, go subscribe to my Vibe Patreon. Go do that. Click the button that's in the link in my description area. Go subscribe. You're gonna get some more stuff along with other stuff too. It's not just me and Bill. I mean, it could be, but like there's other stuff there too that you're gonna enjoy. Thank you to my guest, William Mercado, for sitting with me today. Be sure to follow me on all of your favorite social media platforms and get exclusive content on my Patreon. Until next time, much love and good vibes, my friend. Au revoir.